What's up fellas, in this video I'm building Big Plane Kit's Bombardier CRJ900. Stay tuned. First let's check what's inside the box. This is a multimedia kit with quite a lot of parts and very good surface details for 1 to 1/44 scale. The box contains 2 regular plastic sprues, 1 clear sprue for the fuselage, 1 photo etch fret and 2 sets of masks. The engines are mostly done in resin. The kit provides decals for 2 liveries, American Eagle and Air Canada. Big Plane kits have some very interesting offerings, like the 1 to 72nd scale US Air Force T-34A and a 1 to 72nd scale Boeing 737-800. Find link to their site in the description. After this quick review, let's start building. This kit has a cockpit which is quite well detailed. Some cleanup is needed here and there. Along with the cockpit, there is a gear bay to put together. As usual, most of the tools and materials I use are linked in the description. The control columns are super fine and I managed to break them a few times. Fortunately, I was able to find the broken pieces and glue them back on. I'm going to take advantage of the transparent fuselage and simulate randomly shots and blinds. Also, I will paint the sidewalls and the ceiling, so I have to mask the windshield. The first paint layer is grey. This will also serve as the shade's color. The second layer I used was black, but I should have used darker grey instead. This layer is supposed to simulate the dark appearance of the interior from the outside. Now let's get back to the cockpit and paint some details on the seats with highlights and shadows. Okay, I think that the seats look good. Let's move on to the decals. There is one decal for the central console, one for the instrument panel and 2 decals behind the seats. Now it's time to assemble the cockpit and the fuselage. The transparent fuselage have the advantage of incorporated windows, but on the other hand it's really hard to see how the joints are looking. This will lead to several primer applications and correction work later on. As I said, the advantage is that the windows are molded in, and it's especially convenient when there are masks in the kit. The cockpit windows are rather large, so there is a chance that the cockpit will be somewhat visible. It is time to apply the first primer. Let's deal with the seam lines. First I inspected the joint and then I sanded as smooth as possible, without altering the shape of course. A layer of Mr. Surfacer 500 should be sufficient for the seam. While the surfacer is drying, I am going to assemble a few parts. By the way, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. The engine nacelles come in plastic, while the inlet and the nozzle are made of resin. After assembly, I cleaned up the trailing edge of the nacelle. The assembly of the wing was not as good as I wanted, so I had to fix it. First, to avoid losing detail, I deepened the panel lines. Next, I leveled the joint with sandpaper. Then I applied Surfacer 500 in the gap. When the surfacer was dry, I sanded both the fuselage and the wings. Probably there is some more filling and sanding in the future, but we will see what's the case later in the video. Moving on to the major assembly. I'll build the model as far as I see it easy to paint. I will leave all small details like antennas, gear bay doors and so on to be painted separately. And I will attach them after the model is painted, decaled and polished. I will add a few photo etch pieces, but first I sanded the thread and applied a coat of Mr. Metal Primer. Officially starting the painting process with a coat of Mr. Surfacer. A few coats actually, with some correction work in between. This is going to be high gloss airplane and smooth layers are a must. Do you know that you can vote for a future build video? Visit the link on the pop-out banner and find a survey. Some cool kits to pick from. The wings I painted in light grey, which obviously is not very different from the primer. I left the wings to dry and decided to paint the engines and the tail. I mixed up duraluminum and dark aluminum and applied a mix on the nozzle and the rear tip of the fuselage. I did some more masking and I'll be applying dark aluminum. Here is the result after spending 30 or so minutes on both engines. The grey on the wing is dry enough to mask over it. I don't know if it's me or the white Tamiya tape is garbage. I always have to seal the edges with masking liquid to prevent lifting. Okay, now let's paint the white on the fuselage. After the paint was dry enough, I masked the upper fuselage. And using the kit masks, I outlined the windshield. I failed to plan my masking correctly, which led to a lot of time lost in removing and reapplying tape. So, a note for future reference. plan carefully. Applying the black lower fuselage color, I also applied the base for the polished aluminum on the wing's leading edge. Best natural metal finishes can be obtained when the metalizer is applied in several thin coats. If you want to know more about natural metal finishes, watch the tutorial from the pop-out banner. I have to say that this is very beautiful airplane with some awesome livery. Now it's time to apply the decals. This is my first time working with Big Plane Kits decals, but I have to say they perform very well. Despite having delicate appearance, the decals are not falling apart. On the contrary, they held quite well all my manipulations. After I applied the decals, it was time to seal them with a layer of gloss varnish. Obviously, this will enhance the overall glossiness of the model as well. From the pictures I found, it looks like Air Canada keeps their airplanes in immaculate condition. Or the reason may be that this livery is from 2018. Share your opinion in the comments. Removing the Windows masks revealed that my attempt to replicate the randomly positioned sunshades succeeded to some extent. Now I have to install the wheel wells, engines and other small bits and bobs. Unfortunately, something happened with the footage and I have no videos of this step. Fortunately, I have some pictures of the finished model. How cool is that? Make sure you watch more of my builds and give the thumbs up for this video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy modeling!